few weeks ago, I allowed myself the comfort of watching YouTube. I told myself that it would only be while I ate, and I justified it with the fact that Iman Gadzhi said everyone needs to have entertainment. But that was a big mistake. At first, it went well. I was keeping my promise of only eating during meals, and it made me feel much happier and more motivated throughout the day. But it didn't last for long. I started watching more videos after eating, telling myself it's just one more, so it's fine. And then it started to creep into my spare time throughout the day. And it got to the point where if there wasn't any specific work task I had to do, I would be watching YouTube. And after that, I started to procrastinate so I could watch one more video. I would tell myself to do some work, and then 5 hours later, I would go do the work. Got to the point where my entire day consisted of watching YouTube. I would get 0 work done, go to bed with the intention of changing tomorrow, and then repeat that the next day and the day after and the day after that. Needless to say, my mental health was terrible throughout this whole time. I would have frequent panic attacks, and if I wasn't having panic attacks, I would be panicking about the idea of having another panic attack. So why am I telling you this? Firstly, because I want to show you a mistake that I've recently made so you don't think I'm just another kid pretending to be Andrew Tate. Because nobody's perfect, so I want to show you my imperfections and hopefully have you relate to me more. Secondly, because it relates to what I'm about to talk about in this video. Why balance doesn't work, at least for me. Let me explain what I understand balance to be, so there isn't any confusion throughout my video. Balance is a lifestyle that 90% of the population live by, and it's all about balancing your work life and your personal life. People nowadays think that work is a bad thing, and that you shouldn't have it as your top priority. So you should evenly split your time between work and living life. Bonus points if you can minimize your work time. If you haven't guessed by now, most of the time they say you should spend living life, they actually spend watching shows on YouTube, playing video games, and partying. And with that out of the way, let's get into why balance doesn't work. For the past 1.5 years, I've been living or attempting to live an imbalanced lifestyle where work is my #1 priority and pleasure is to be avoided as much as possible. In my life, I've been avoiding junk food, video games, video content, and any other bad habit out there. My family sees this and think that I've gone insane. They tell me that I'm denying everything that I enjoy and tell me that I should let more pleasure into my life. And I usually ignore this because I know exactly what happens when I do let the pleasure back into my life. But then, I bought Iman Gadzhi's digital launchpad when he released it a couple weeks back, and I watched through some of his courses. And it's very interesting because in his courses, he talks about how making work your life is wrong and you should live a more balanced lifestyle. Now, I agree that you shouldn't make work your entire life. You should definitely go outside and spend some time with your friends and your family and enjoy yourself. But that's not what he was talking about. In his course, he showed us that from time to time, he'll sit down and watch YouTube and even Netflix. A man as successful as Iman Gadzhi doing stuff like that shocks me. It forced me to question my beliefs about balance. Then I realized something. I'd never actually tried to live a balanced lifestyle because I got into self-improvement through Hamza. If you've watched him before, you would know that he's very extreme about his routine and his lifestyle. And one of the main things he's known for is getting you to quit all of your bad habits with no exception. That means no video games, no movies, no Netflix, no nothing. You remove all of it from your life. That basically means that I went from doing everything to nothing straight away. Now obviously I've been in ruts before, but they were never because I tried to practice a balanced lifestyle. So I thought about it and I gave it a shot, and then I ended up how I told you in the beginning. It was an awful failure, and it gave me a very valuable lesson. I'm not the type of guy who can watch one video or one episode of a show and then turn it off. I'm not the type of guy who can play an hour of video games and put the controller down. That's just not who I am. I've been told by everyone around me that I have what's called an addictive personality, which basically means that it's very easy for me to get totally obsessed with something and very hard for me to get out of that obsession. Now that's one of the main reasons why I believe that I can't live in balance, because my mind is like a seesaw, because on one side I'm completely obsessed with making progress, And on the other, I'm completely addicted to watching YouTube and playing video games and doing all the bad habits. Now, some of you may hear that and feel sorry for me. Please don't. Because the funny thing is, when I'm not living in balance, when I'm living the lifestyle they don't want me to live, when I'm learning every single day and working hard and making progress, that's when I'm having the most fun. I noticed I'm happiest when I'm working hard about something that I truly care about, not when I'm having their idea of fun. The fun things aren't fun to me. But what is fun? My work. Now it's funny because everyone would always tell me to let go a little and have fun, but they don't seem to understand that I am having fun. It's just a different kind of fun to them. That isn't to say that my work isn't hard. Far from it. Scripting a video longer than 10 minutes is very hard for me right now, and recording is a pain because I always have to find the small windows of time in my day when my house is quiet and I won't be disturbed. So yeah, it is hard, but I couldn't imagine living my life in any other way. A life of balance just isn't for me, and maybe if you're anything like I am, it's the same for you. Anyway, that's all I got for today. I know the work is hard and the progress is slow, but remember, you only lose when you give up.